Hi friends, welcome to Starcheology Tarot. This is not the video I imagined would launch this channel, but it is the video and the reading that we need right now and what our community needs right now. Yes, I am starting this with a COVID-19 reading. I think that as a community right now, there's a lot of uncertainty, and I wanted to turn to the cards to see to get to the bottom truth of this situation, to understand it on a level more deeply than just the headlines in the news, and see it from a spiritual perspective, and with that spiritual perspective in mind, approach it differently than we might approach it if we did not have that perspective. So here we are. As you can see, I pulled 6 cards. The first 2 cards are paired together. That is the situation at hand. Second cards paired together is the advice and action we should take. And the third pair of cards is our outcome of this situation. So the situation at hand, we have judgment paired with the 10 of Swords. This is a big ending, a very big ending. The Judgment card in this deck particularly kind of shows the scale of the ending that we have here, depicting the last judgment. This is something that affects all of humanity. And considering the fact that I asked specifically about COVID-19, which is a global event, of course, this is affecting all of us. The 10 of Swords means ending, and judgment means letting go of something and assessing what happened in the past, assessing it in a way that gives you strength and perspective as you craft the future. Okay. So that you're actually able to look at your past, see what worked and see what didn't, and assimilate that, internalize it so that you can make different and better decisions moving forward. I feel that what these cards are telling us is that this situation is already, it's perhaps the biggest drama, global drama, that affects us directly as individuals that's ever happened in many people's lifetimes. Definitely mine. And it's dramatic enough as it is. Don't add melodrama to the situation with the things that you are thinking about it. This is a Swords card, which means that's the suit of air. So that's our mind, our belief systems, our thoughts, the words that we speak, and the words that we tell ourselves. And there's something about that needs to come. Not only is there something coming to a close, a chapter ending for humanity, but the way that we talk about it and reflect about it also there's an ending that needs to come there. There's an ending to our belief systems as a species, to our understanding on a purely intellectual level of how the world works, because our minds can only take us so far. And we've grown so much when we're only looking at the power of the human brain. We've grown so much, and yet also, what is that phrase? It's like scientists say we only use 10% of our brains. So even considering that, we've grown so much in that way. There's still so much more to grow in that direction. But we also prize our brains over our hearts, which is a very patriarchal thing. Rewarding logic more so than intuition, just a more sacred feminine version of power. And there is a big shift that's happening in how we define power and how we define what is important. So another element of this is that with endings comes a great deal of fear and darkness, because we generally, you can feel the fear in this card. We as a species, just as human beings, change is always scary. And we're entering this new realm, this new way of existing, that's almost otherworldly. We've never experienced it before, and we've never been in this situation before. And so it's easy to hold on to the thing that is ending for dear life, instead of seeing that it might be things need to end in order for new things to begin. You can't have a beginning without an ending. So this is also a time that is forcing us to assess the way that our world works, because we're seeing the ways in which so many of those world orders are failing us, like healthcare, for example. Those are also things that are being kind of forced to come to an ending, because we are seeing in very real time, in very tangible ways, how they are failing us. But the main purpose too of the Judgment card is as these things are ending, really let go of them. Really, really let go of them. Accept that what is happening is happening. And by, as strange as it sounds, we can do that with open arms, or we can do that like this. And the latter, by doing the latter, we actually don't accept it. It's much more harder to accept a gift when our hands are like this rather than when they are open and in front of us. So accepting the situation that we are in, and letting go of everything that has brought us to this point in time, is crucial for actually seeing what is important right now in the present moment. The action and advice. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Mother of Pentacles. Wow. Two Pentacles cards. So Pentacles is Earth. That's the suit of Earth. It's about our world, the world, the manifestation of life in front of us, the things that we can touch and see and feel, and hold on to. It's the things that we value that only exist on this plane. They're the gold coins in Super Mario Kart. It's the things that, the game that we've created for ourselves here to play. And by letting these thought patterns, these belief systems, these world orders about how the world works, what is important, what is power, how do people get power, all of that, how you feel powerful, how you feel fulfilled, how you feel happy, because all those things are connected in our minds. By letting go of old belief structures that are stale now, that we have seen fail time and time again throughout history, and really seeing it fail right now, by letting those things end, we make space for new things to manifest before our eyes in our real world. And the things that we are manifesting now, we do by focusing on the home, by focusing on our communities, our families. Stay inside. Stay inside and do your part as a member of this family. Mother of Pentacles is it's very loving. It's domesticity. It's creating a home that is beautiful and comfortable and functional. And we are creating a home right now that is lasting. This is Three of Pentacles. This is about creating something that long outlasts you. This is a structure like a cathedral that will live far, far, far beyond you. It's also about building that with community. You can see there's the mason working with two other people in order to craft this structure. Teamwork is crucial during this time. But the team here, we're not just a team of strangers. This team is our family. And it's very, very easy right now in a period of isolation to only focus on the family that is under your same roof. But that is an illusion. That is one of the illusions, perhaps, that is falling away. It's time for that to die. Because the home that we are building as Mother of Pentacles right now, that domestic, that beautiful home where we are playing domestic goddess and really crafting something that feels safe and secure and good, is this planet. It's not just the home that we are in at the moment, these walls that we are surrounded by at the moment. The home is this planet. That is the thing that needs to long outlast us as individuals, because it's a home that will be home to future generations. And the world orders that we have in place right now do not make that home hospitable to future generations. This is really, really big. And when I'm talking about those world orders, I'm seeing this as being, it's everything. It's the way that our governments run. It's the way that we treat each other and all, but what is at the root of all of that is the illusion of separateness. It's the illusion that these people in these four walls with me are my family and everyone outside is not. It is time to not only mother ourselves, but to mother complete strangers. That is the advice in this time. Mother complete strangers. We all have the capacity to love unconditionally, the way a mother loves her child. That is the kind of unconditional love that we need to be showing to each other during this time. That is how we get through this time and actually learn the lesson, the opportunity that COVID-19 is presenting. That is how we actually hear that lesson, internalize that lesson, and use that lesson to change the world that we build. I'm hearing the mothers are architects. Mothers are architects of the world order here, and we are all mothers. Doesn't matter how you identify. We are each a mother in this situation. We are each responsible for mothering each other. The outcome, I mean, guys, my mind is really blown here. We have the Hanged Man and the World. Oh boy. Okay. So the Hanged Man, first of all, let's start there. The Hanged Man appears when in times of waiting, which is what we are all doing right now. We all are hanging by our ankles right now, feeling like our hands are tied, like there's nothing for us to do but stay inside and wait. We think that that's a passive action when actually, we think of that as a passive action. We think of that as something, I don't even know if I should call it action if it's something passive, but we think of that as being a passive activity as opposed to an active action. But in this case, it is very much so an active action. There is so much power in in just accepting that this is a time of stillness, slowing down, and seeing how our perspective changes as we hang upside down, as our world turns upside down. Because the world turning upside down changes our perspective of the world. Sometimes it takes the world turning upside down in order for us to see the world differently. The world is always like, the universe is like, hey, are you ever gonna see this differently than how you see this? No? Okay, then I'm gonna change so that you see this differently. That's what's happening right now. The universe is meeting us halfway as a gift to help us grow. And the Hanged Man, they're in this time of waiting. We can't force an outcome. Part of the lesson we are learning is in the waiting and actually the letting go of attachment to a certain outcome. It's that same acceptance from that Judgment card, accepting and letting go. This is a real time of letting go while still also being responsible in the ways that we can be responsible. Being responsible in terms of the home that we are building. That is something that is something within our power and within our reach. Our individual homes and our collective homes. Our collective home, sorry, it's singular. But the Hanged Man, I'm hearing we have to wait, we have to incubate until our perspective changes, until we see things changing before our eyes and we play a part in. Our part in that is to literally wait. To literally wait and to be open to seeing things differently than we've been seeing them. On an individual level, for many of us, it will be very individual if you have been seeing things very, very backwards. But this is, again, a global reading. This reading is for the world. And I think it's more about the collective consciousness perspective, the perspective of humanity as a species, as a community, as a worldwide community. How our actions reflect what our real values are. How our actions, the world orders we have in place, actually reflect the things that we say we want, which is peace, equality, love. If we're not walking the walk, the universe is going to say, stop walking. Stop walking until you're able to walk the walk. Another element of the Hangman card is that there's an element of sacrifice, and a lot of us are sacrificing so much right now. There are people on the front lines, so to speak, sacrificing their health and safety. And then there are those of us who are further away from the heart of the action, but we are sacrificing normalcy in our lives. We are sacrificing our jobs. We are sacrificing the day-to-day routines that we've attached to that give us identity and meaning and purpose. In this sacrifice, in this waiting time, comes enlightenment. You can see the Hangman has a halo. Enlightenment comes in this wait. There is no use getting frustrated, feeling stalled, because this is the purpose right now. The purpose is the waiting. And if we are truly able to accept that with open arms instead of the fearful, clenched fists, what we create is a brand new world. God, I'm sorry. We're waiting for the world to change, guys. John Mayer, you watching this? We are waiting for the world to change. Waiting on the world to change? Sorry, I don't know the song that well. We often think that it takes being on the front lines, like in the heart of the drama, taking huge risks and big action to really initiate change. But real collective consciousness change happens on a microscopic level because we are all a tiny, 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 tiny part of the collective consciousness. Each of us as individuals, we are tiny ants. And if we are able to make these tiny changes just in our lives, that if everyone is able to do that, that adds up to a shift that is much bigger than any one of us could just do. Again, teamwork. Change happens here and here before it happens here. It happens here and here before we can see it reflected in our world. And that is the gift of this time. The universe is forcing us to slow down, to wait, to make sacrifices, to see things from an angle that we have not been forced to see until now. And let yourself be affected by it. Let yourself be affected by it. Let yourself be changed by it. But be sure that those changes are not coming from too much focus on the darkness, on the negativity, on the endings, on the fear. Let yourself be changed by the actions that are unfolding before us in a way that feeds the love in you, in a way that feeds the mother in you. What I want to end on, the world also symbolizes, I mean, this is such a literal interpretation, this being the outcome, is what we are waiting for is the world. We are waiting for a new world. But the world card is also the last card in the major arcana, and it symbolizes completion. It symbolizes something coming full circle and reaping the rewards and success and triumph of that chapter, of all of the trials and tribulations of that chapter. And the chapter isn't just COVID-19. The chapter stretches so far before COVID-19. There is a lesson, a karmic lesson, a chapter in humanity's story that is coming to a close. It's coming full circle. There is an end of a phase happening. For those of you who have followed anything astrologically about 2020, you know, this is such a powerful year. Before any of this happened, there's been talk of 2020 being the year that we have, that our sight becomes, we have 2020 vision. Our hindsight becomes 2020, and our sight moving forward becomes 2020. We suddenly see things clearly. We're able to see things for what they really are, about the nature of our existence. And it is no coincidence that this pandemic is happening this early, literally the first few months of 2020. We're trading, some of us are trading rose-colored glasses in for real ones. And again, the best thing that we can do is allow the cycles to end. Let go and allow. Allow this chapter to come to a finish and welcome it. Not all endings are scary. I'd say no endings are scary. No endings are scary. They can be if you choose for them to be, but no ending has to be scary, because every ending is also a beginning. The nature of our existence is cycles, is cyclical. Everything is cyclical. With every ending, there's always a beginning. And it's the difference between focusing on the ending or the beginning, because if you're focusing on the ending, that's the half glass empty mindset. That's the fear-based mindset. That's the mindset of oh, I'm going to lose something. Whereas if you are focused on the beginning that comes right after, it's like, yes, let us move through this, because the glass is half full, and that is the love-based mindset. Destruction does not have to be dark. Things need to be destroyed in order to be built or rebuilt. We are in a process right now, a crucial process, from the judgment card to this world card that we're ending with. And by the way, these cards come right next to each other in tarot. Judgment happens right before the world, and we have all of these other cards in between. It's like this split second change, these two things right next to each other, is so pregnant. There is so much in this moment that we can really take advantage of. So use it intentionally. Think your thoughts intentionally. Think love-based thoughts. Act from the feelings that feel light, not dark. I hope this brought you some peace and reassurance. If you liked this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I will also be doing, I think, another COVID-19 reading, exploring the emotional root of this physical illness. Those are some of my favorite readings to do. If you are open to that, if that interests you, please keep an eye out for that. And that's all. Everyone, go be great. Be well, be safe. I legitimately love you.